ballot issue, which spent the last week in court, medical marijuana.
As Brian Mastry reports, the votes for and against will be counted tomorrow, but the courts could still decide later this month whether to void the results.
The government took aim at one of the ballot sponsors on day 4 of the trial in Lincoln. Krista Eggers is on the left with her personal attorney. This is how most of the day went.
Has Jennifer Henning been to your house?
My client pleads the fifth. Allowed.
Have you been to Jennifer Henning's house?
My client pleads the fifth.
The Fifth Amendment protects her from testifying against herself. Her attorneys said she had no choice since they believe the Attorney General is overreaching here and eager to charge anyone with a crime.
At least the criminal division of the Attorney General's office and county attorneys have been able to directly impact which witnesses can or cannot testify in this trial without fear of self-incrimination.
It was just a few weeks ago that the Gretna mom celebrated getting the initiative on the ballot with their son Colton, who suffers from debilitating epileptic seizures. It's why she's been fighting for medical cannabis for years in Nebraska, to give him an alternative to pharmaceuticals with all the side effects. The government argued that her passion blinded her to the rules.
We're operating in a climate where cheating was not just tolerated, it was encouraged.
Attorneys for Nebraskans for medical cannabis say the state is relying on 2 untrustworthy witnesses to throw out signatures. A woman who is on probation for insurance fraud, and a man who told the court he picked out names from the phone book on one of his petitions.
It would be an absolute travesty to our democratic process to invalidate a citizen-led initiative based on the testimony of Michael Egbert and Jennifer Henning.
District Court plans to make a decision on whether there's enough evidence to move forward with the case by mid-November. On your side, Brian Mastry, 6 News.
The $1 million